It might have been Arnold Schwarzenegger who promised "I'll be back," but Linda is facing her Judgment Day, returning as Sarah Connor at the age of 61. Linda was seen filming Terminator 6 in Madrid, Spain. She played Sarah in the original 1984 film and was in 1991's Terminator 2: Judgment Day. She agreed to reprise her role after ex-husband James Cameron became executive producer. He said, "It's going to make a huge statement to have that seasoned warrior that she's become return." The film, due out in 2019, also sees Arnie, 70, return as a T-800, 4 years after he first made a return in Terminator Genisys. Here, we look over some other famous roles that have been reprised years later. Sylvester Stallone Rocky Balboa He mumbled through the first film in 1976, but somehow it only made us fall in love with Sylvester Stallone's plucky boxer. Rocky B in 1990 looked to be the last bout, but in 2006, Stallone returned at the age of 59 for Rocky Balboa. "It's a character I love," he said. "Most of us just look at old photos if we feel nostalgic." Harrison Ford goes one better. Harrison Ford, Rick Deckard and Han Solo having gone home to the Millennium Falcon in 2015 Star Wars: The Force Awakens, he said bye again to Han Solo and resurrected Rick Deckard for Blade Runner 2049. Asked about his return, 35 years after the 1982 original, he said, "I'm used to trying on old clothes. And happily they still fit." Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia. A long time ago, Carrie Fisher became Leia Organa, the Disney princess who outshone all others, and Mark Hamill became the legendary Luke Skywalker. They first appeared in Star Wars in 1977, but after the 1983 sequel Return of the Jedi, there was a 32-year gap before Disney brought them back in 2015 Star Wars: The Force Awakens. They appeared for the briefest of parsecs, but fans still thought it was out of this world, and they returned again in The Last Jedi, released in 2017. Tragically, Carrie had died, aged 60, from a heart attack in 2016. Sean Connery James Bond The Scot was the first movie Bond, appearing in 1962's Dr. No. After Diamonds Are Forever in 1971, he said he never wanted to play 007 again, but in 1983 was back in Never Say Never Again. In between times, Roger Moore had starred as 007 in 5 Bond films. Alicia Silverstone Cher Horowitz Alicia recreated her 1995 clueless character for TV show Lip Sync Battle last week and barely looked a day older. Can you believe she's now 41? As if. Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd Marty McFly and Doc Brown Great Scott. Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd went back in time to become Marty McFly and Doc Brown in 2015, but it was for a comedy skit on U.S. comic Jimmy Kimmel's TV show, rather than a new Back to the Future movie. It came 25 years after the last film in the trilogy was released. Kyle MacLachlan and Sherilyn Fenn agent Dale Cooper and Audrey Horne. His coffee must have gone very cold in the 25-year gap on Twin Peaks, but Kyle MacLachlan was thrilled to return as agent Dale Cooper with Sherilyn Fenn's Audrey Horne from the 90s series when it rebooted last year. Kyle, now 59, said the only thing that had not changed was David Lynch sitting in the director's chair. Jeff Goldblum drive Ian Malcolm. Jeff Goldblum was 41 in the original Jurassic Park movie in 1993, playing chaos theory mathematician Dr. Ian Malcolm. He also starred in sequel The Lost World, Jurassic Park 4 years later. But he took a break until the latest, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, at the age of 65. Michael Douglas Gordon Gekko. Michael reprised his Oscar-winning role as the shamelessly greedy financier in Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps 23 years after the 1987 original. He came back at 65 after battling throat cancer and said Gekko was as good a villain as you're ever going to find. Patrick Duffy and Linda Gray. Bobby and Sue Ellen Ewing. Now that's what you call a cliffhanger, the 21 years between the end of Dallas in 1991 and its return in 2012. They had weathered a little, but Linda Gray, now 77, still had the bite of Sue Ellen. Larry Hagman said goodbye to JR before he died, and Patrick Duffy, 69, was back as Bobby Ewing, without the need of an "it was all a dream" shower scene. Julia Roberts. Vivian Ward thought Julia Roberts, 50, was past her Pretty Woman days. Big mistake, as she proved by recreating the 1990 film's iconic shopping scene on James Corden's Late Late Show. David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson. Mulder and Scully. Anderson and Duchovny played FBI special agents Dana Scully and Fox Mulder for 7 series of The X-Files. Duchovny quit in 2001, but Anderson stayed on until 2002. The pair then starred in the series' second spin-off film, The X-Files, I Want to Believe, before rejoining the TV show for its 10th series in 2016.